The new season of Overlord is coming soon, and as an Overlord fan myself, I decided to talk about the expectations for this new season. What do I think it will cover, and in general, just what to expect. I will try to avoid any big spoilers aside from anything already mentioned on the synopsis or smaller things that shouldn't generate any controversy. So let's jump right into it. First off, let's talk about where we left off. The third season ends with Volume 9, in which Ainz creates the Sorcerer's Kingdom and destroys the Riestis Kingdom's army. So what's next? Well, first we can assume a few things based on the trailers. You can see a few scenes around the kingdom, the empire, some dwarves and a dragon. So let's make sense of all of it. Volume 10, called The Ruler of the Conspiracy, will be the start of the new season. It takes just where we left off at the end of Season 3 and follows the establishment of the Sorcerer's Kingdom as well as the aftermath of the war not only in the Riestis Kingdom but also for the other countries like the Empire and the Slain Theocracy as they are trying to plot against the new kingdom. On the other hand, Ainz will focus on the development of his own kingdom and deciding what type of kingdom does he want. A highlight of this volume will be the fight between Ainz and the gladiator that is briefly shown in the trailer. Look out for Ainz's movements during this fight, because you will see a throwback to Season 1. Aside from that, this part is mostly politics with a bit of comedy, so it is on the lighter side, and action lovers will have to wait a bit for some cooler fight scenes. Then we move on to Volume 11 with the Craftsmen of Dwarf, which will focus on Ainz, Mare and Shaltir visiting the Dwarf Kingdom in the mountains, in an effort to build a relationship with the runesmiths as Ainz caught an interest in runes. This arc will feel like a full-on adventure, similar to what we saw in the Invaders of the Large Tomb arc. Just in this case, Ainz is the one invading, and hopefully there will be less roaches. And of course, it wouldn't be a dwarf story without a dragon resting on top of a pile of gold. Overall, this is an entertaining arc with a bit of everything. Unfortunately, there won't be any special fight on this one either, just Ainz showing his cool side. And while the story is a bit long in the light novel as there is a lot of plot, hopefully the anime will compress it concisely in order to leave space for the next arc, that so far for me has been the best one. I hope I am not getting ahead of myself and the season is cut short before this next arc, because I would be disappointed if the season ends with the dwarf arc, that while interesting, it didn't really have any strong point compared to the next arc. And while the trailers haven't shown anything regarding this arc, maybe it just means that the animators haven't reached this point of the production yet, but we will just have to wait and see. Usually a season tends to be 3 volumes long, paced in 4 or 5 episode batches. But this will probably not be the case for this season, as volumes 12 and 13 are both part of a single story. The Paladin of the Holy Kingdom has to be Kagune Maruyama at his best. The story focuses around the Roughly Holy Empire, as they seek aid from the Sorcerer Kingdom to battle against an army of demi-humans commanded by the Demon Emperor Yaldabaoth, that have ravaged their kingdom. This story is everything you want in an Overlord story. It starts with the brutal massacre of Yaldabaoth, which has to be one of my favorite fight scenes written by the author. Then we have the politics, conspiracies, and funny misunderstandings between Ainz and the people of the Holy Kingdom, and the action just ramps up by the end of the story. This should be the way the story should end, and hopefully the director thinks the same, because otherwise it would end up being just an okay season when it could end up just being the best season of Overlord to this date. And for the future, don't worry Overlord fans, because we still have a few more seasons to go on the line, as Volume 14 is already out, and Volume 15 and 16 should be released by the end of July. No spoilers for these ones, but I do recommend to give them a try, as I love the story in Volume 14 and I expect Volume 15 and 16 to give us yet another banger. And that's everything for today. Let me know what you guys think of Overlord and what is the thing that you're expecting the most for this season. Until then, see you guys next time.